Chosen one, I need you to stop scrolling right now. Do not move past this message. This is not another random video on your feed, and you certainly did not stumble upon this transmission by mere accident. The universe has deliberately interrupted your day because a massive shift just occurred in the spiritual realm. Your chest is tight. Your mind is racing. Heaven knows you have been feeling the heavy ripples of this profound transformation all morning. That feeling is your intuition trying to decode a sudden change in the atmosphere. Have you noticed how incredibly quiet things have become lately? The people who used to mock you are suddenly silent, and the individuals who constantly tried to break your spirit have completely vanished from your immediate reality. You might think they just moved on. You might believe they forgot about you. But the truth is far more dangerous, because they finally connected the dots. They finally realized exactly who they were messing with, and now they are completely terrified. But wait, before you take a breath of relief, I must warn you about a fatal trap. There is a hidden message inside this sudden silence. If you swipe away from this transmission too soon, you will completely miss the massive revelation that guarantees your ultimate victory. You will be left wandering in the dark while your enemies regroup in the shadows. You must stay here. Listen carefully to my voice. The algorithm does not have the power to orchestrate this level of divine alignment. Archangel Michael has personally routed this specific frequency to your screen because your spiritual enemies have gone completely silent. They went silent because the blindfolds were violently ripped off their eyes. They looked at your life. They looked at the spiritual authority you command, and they realized you were a goddamn genius all along. Every time they called you crazy, you were actually miles ahead of them. Every time they said you were delusional, you were simply reading a timeline they could not even comprehend. And now the cold, hard reality has crashed down upon them. They finally see the divine favor radiating from your very existence, and they recognize the impenetrable shield that heaven has placed around your energy. They cannot touch you anymore, so they went dead, silent. But their silence is not the end of this story. Do not let your guard down just yet. There is a specific reason heaven wants you to understand the exact nature of their fear. Right now, in the unseen realms, a massive generational wealth transfer is being prepared in your name. The universe is aligning a collision of blessings that will change your bloodline forever, but there is a secret mechanism you must understand first. If you leave this space right now, that blessing will still arrive, but you will not have the spiritual equipment to hold it or protect it from future attacks. You have spent years crying in the dark. You have spent countless sleepless nights begging the universe for a single sign that your pain was not in vain. This message is that exact sign. I am looking directly into your soul right now. You are not invisible to heaven. They thought your kindness was a weakness they could exploit forever. They believed they could drain your energy and leave you as an empty shell. But heaven used their betrayal as a rigorous training ground to forge you into a weapon of absolute light. You did not break under their pressure. You evolved into something that makes their blood run cold, and that is exactly why they have retreated into the shadows. Let me remind you of the nights you spent questioning your sanity. You sat in empty rooms, wondering if perhaps they were right. Maybe you were too sensitive. The narcissists wanted you to stay stuck in that loop of endless self-doubt, feeding off your confusion while you desperately tried to explain your pure intentions. But the universe stepped in and cut their supply line permanently. Their sudden disappearance is not a coincidence, it is a divine quarantine. I need you to promise your future self one thing today. Do not let this message fade into the background noise of your life. Lock your attention onto these words until the very last second, because what I am about to reveal at the end of this journey will fundamentally alter how you walk through this world. It will give you the exact physical key to unlock the quiet authority you have earned. Do you want to know what they saw? Do you want to know the exact moment they realized they had made the biggest mistake of their miserable lives? Brace yourself, because the spiritual truth I am about to unfold will validate every single tear you ever shed. The days of you explaining yourself are officially over. The season of you begging for basic respect has come to a permanent end. They are watching you rise. They are watching everything they built crumble into dust, and they cannot do a single thing to stop it. Take one slow, real breath. Let that immense power settle deep into your bones. You are the chosen one. You are the cycle breaker who survived the storm completely alone. And today, heaven is about to expose exactly what is happening behind the scenes of their deafening silence. Stay with me. Do not look away. The veil is finally lifting. You are so incredibly tired. Your shoulders are tight. The weight is entirely real. Every morning when you wake up, the profound heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You push through the day. You smile for them. But inside, you are completely drained. You have spent years trying to explain your beautiful soul. You poured your heart out to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You carefully chose words to avoid hurting their fragile egos, and every time you tried to show them the naked truth, they stared at you with blank eyes and twisted your pure intentions. They loved to call you crazy. They weaponized that specific word to invalidate your razor-sharp intuition. Whenever you sensed a lie, they told you that you were just being paranoid. Whenever you felt a shift in their chaotic energy, they gaslighted you into believing you were delusional. Their toxic voices echoed in your mind. You began to question your sanity in the quiet hours of the night. You sat alone and wondered if your standards were simply too high. Maybe you were the actual problem all along. That is exactly what the narcissists desperately wanted you to believe. They needed you to doubt your divine compass to control your reality. But I am here to tell you the absolute truth today. You were never crazy. You were never too sensitive. You were an empath with iron boundaries, and your pure frequency threatened their comfortable dysfunction. Your spirit operates on a wavelength of ultimate truth. When you brought light into their dark rooms, it blinded them. It is exhausting to always see the storm coming. You warned them about the hidden danger. You tried to protect them from the harsh consequences of their own toxic actions. You threw lifelines to people who actively tried to drag you underwater. Instead of thanking you, they simply mocked your divine foresight. Then the profound isolation finally set in. The universe had to aggressively pull you away from the noisy crowd. You felt an intense loneliness that made your physical bones ache down to the core. You lost friends you thought you would have forever. You watched family members turn their backs when you needed them most. This deep isolation was never a cruel punishment. It was a rigorous and necessary spiritual quarantine. Heaven had to ruthlessly remove counterfeit connections to protect your sacred energy from further contamination. If those toxic people stayed, they would have drained the massive blessing meant for your upcoming chapter. I know you grieved those painful losses deeply. You have a huge heart that loves fiercely and forgives endlessly. You gave them 100-second chances when they did not deserve a single one. You stayed far longer than you should have because you saw their hidden brokenness. But you cannot heal people who love the dark. You are incredibly tired of always having to be the bigger person. You are exhausted from taking the high road while they throw jagged stones from the gutter. Every time they brutally betrayed you, you swallowed your righteous anger just to keep the fragile peace. You became the emotional sponge for their unhealed trauma. This immense burden took a very real physical toll on your body. You experienced unexplained headaches. You jolted awake at 3 in the morning with your heart pounding fiercely out of your chest. That was not some random medical anxiety. That was your precise spiritual radar detecting heavy psychic attacks sent your way. Nobody saw the silent tears you cried alone in the shower. Nobody witnessed the terrifying moments you collapsed on the floor begging the universe for the pain to stop. The world only saw the strong version of you. But heaven saw every single moment of your agonizing struggle, and the divine courts recorded every pure tear. You are a powerful master of reality who temporarily forgot their own immense strength. They forcefully convinced you that your deep emotions were a severe liability. They lied to you. Your ability to feel absolutely everything so deeply is your ultimate weapon. It is the exact radar that allows you to navigate high dimensions. There was a specific moment when something inside you finally snapped. You reached the absolute limit of your profound empathy. You looked at their endless cycle of disrespect, and you simply stopped playing their twisted game. You completely stopped explaining yourself, and you finally stopped handing your precious life force to vampires. If you feel this exact exhaustion deep in your soul, I need you to anchor your energy right now. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. This simple physical action tells the universe that you are finally ready to drop their heavy burdens forever. The pain of being constantly misunderstood is a heavy burden to carry. You spent countless hours wondering if your mind was playing cruel tricks on you. They told you that you were analyzing things way too deeply. They told you to simply let it go. And for a very long time you actually believed their toxic narrative because you desperately wanted to see the hidden good in everyone around you. But I need to completely reframe your past right now. The profound doubt you felt was never a sign of mental weakness. It was your highly advanced spiritual intuition forcefully clashing with their limited reality. You were never a paranoid or crazy person. You were simply reading the dangerous energetic subtext that they actively tried to hide behind their fake smiles and shallow promises. You always saw the end of the movie before anyone else. You felt the subtle shifts in their tone every single day. You knew exactly when a lie was forming on their lips. The truth is that you are practically walking light years ahead of them in spiritual evolution while they remain trapped in a superficial matrix. They could not possibly understand your pure vision. Do you remember the question we opened earlier? We asked why you always felt so completely drained when trying to warn them. Here is the exact truth you have been waiting to hear. You were physically exhausted because your pure soul had to constantly downgrade its high frequency just to speak their basic language. Your brilliant mind was doing double the work. You tried to explain a complex truth to people in a survival game. Your massive energy was bleeding out in the painful translation process. You were pouring your sacred light into bottomless black holes. And after taking everything you had to give, they still had the incredible audacity to call your divine gift a mental flaw. They were the ones who were truly blind. They projected their own severe limitations onto your beautiful, expansive mind. You sensed the deep danger lurking behind their very fake smile. They quickly accused you of being an entirely negative person. They did not want you to expose the dark truth because it forced them to look at their own unhealed trauma and massive insecurities. So they chose to attack the pure messenger instead. Stop carrying the heavy guilt of their deliberate and cruel misunderstanding. You did absolutely nothing wrong in your entire spiritual journey. You were chosen by heaven to be the rare soul who pierces through illusions. You are the brave cycle breaker your entire bloodline has been desperately waiting for, and you carry the profound vision of a true prophet. Your mind is a beautiful gift from heaven. The universe gifted you with a highly sensitive radar for protection. It was never meant to be a curse upon your life. Your chest tightened violently around certain toxic individuals for a good reason. That was your spiritual alarm system screaming at you to run away before they could drain your precious energy and destroy your inner peace. You were definitely not overreacting to the situation at all. Think about the times you forced yourself to ignore that alarm. You gave them the benefit of the doubt in every situation. You convinced yourself that you were just being an uncharitable person. And what happened next after you extended that beautiful grace? Every single time you ignored your gut feeling, they eventually proved your initial instinct completely right by stabbing you directly in the back. They always dropped their heavy masks when they thought nobody noticed. The bitter truth always came out exactly the way you predicted. You were left picking up the broken pieces of your shattered trust, but heaven used those painful betrayals to violently sharpen your intuition so you would finally learn to trust your own inner voice above theirs. You learned the hard way to protect yourself. You are no longer the confused empath who begs for basic understanding. You have officially graduated from their toxic school of relentless manipulation. You now know your mind operates on a pure frequency of divine alignment. You do not need their validation to confirm what you already know is true, because heaven has already placed the absolute truth inside your heart. You are finally free from their heavy judgment. They are operating many years behind your current spiritual timeline. They are busy playing petty ego games in the shallow end. You are anchoring massive light codes for the new earth. It is fundamentally impossible for them to comprehend the vastness of your spiritual assignment, so they default to the only defense mechanism they know. They bitterly mock the things they cannot grasp. Let them keep their comfortable delusions in their tiny little boxes. You do not owe them another explanation or another single apology. Your only job now is to firmly stand in your quiet authority. You must simply observe their chaos from a distance while the universe handles their ignorance and repays them for the damage they caused you. You have been completely cleared of their charges. Heaven itself has fully vindicated your pure name in the spiritual courts. The profound relief you feel right now is a chain finally snapping. Take a deep breath and let the beautiful reality wash over you. You are a goddamn genius who saw right through their elaborate maze of lies, and you were absolutely right about them from the very beginning. The days of doubting your intuition are over. Now, we must go deeper into the hidden spiritual mechanism at play here. There is a specific reason why they actively fought your divine wisdom. They did not just misunderstand your pure intentions by a simple accident. The truth is, they instinctively rejected your brilliant light because it deeply threatened the fragile daily existence they worked so hard to build. You carry a very specific and powerful frequency of absolute truth. Your mere presence acts as a massive mirror to everyone around you. They always feel deeply uncomfortable whenever they stand near your bright light. When a narcissist steps into your powerful energy field, they are completely terrified of facing the ugly darkness they have hidden for so many years. They built an entire false reality to protect their massive egos. They surround themselves with people who feed their endless illusions. They desperately need constant validation to survive the deep emptiness inside their hollow souls. But then you walked into their carefully constructed matrix, and you effortlessly disrupted their entire toxic system without even trying. You did not even have to say a single word to trigger them. Your profound, quiet authority naturally dismantled their carefully constructed fake persona. They felt entirely naked and exposed beneath your piercing gaze. So, their fragile minds activated a desperate defense mechanism to violently neutralize the immense threat you posed to their comfortable little world. This is why they constantly tried to dim your beautiful light. They had to make you feel completely insignificant to regain their lost power. They projected their own severe insecurities directly onto your pure spirit. And by constantly calling you crazy, they successfully distracted everyone else from seeing their own deep psychological chaos and spiritual decay. There is a hidden spiritual mechanism actively protecting you from their heavy manipulation. What exactly is this secret mechanism guarding your sacred soul? I will reveal the full answer to that mystery very soon. But for now, you must truly understand that their constant bitter denial of your ancient wisdom was actually a profound spiritual compliment. They simply could not manipulate a complex mind. They could not possibly comprehend. Your spiritual elevation made you entirely immune to their petty games. They tried to lower your vibration by creating constant drama around you. But your divine energy source is protected by heaven itself, and their dark manipulative tactics simply bounced off your radiant spiritual shield. Think about the immense effort they spent trying to discredit you. They viciously gossiped about your pure character to absolutely anyone who would listen. They campaigned tirelessly to turn the ignorant crowd against your highly advanced vision. If you were truly insignificant, they would never spend so much of their precious daily energy trying to completely destroy your solid reputation. Their loud attacks were simply a physical manifestation of their silent terror. They knew you held the divine keys to their ultimate destruction. They recognized your chosen status long before you ever realized it yourself. And the dark entities inside them trembled in absolute fear at the massive light you effortlessly carry in your beautiful heart every single day. The crowd always hates the rare anomaly who firmly refuses to conform. They despise the brave cycle breaker who boldly exposes their generational curses. They want you broken so they never feel bad about their own stagnation. But you fiercely refuse to play small just to keep their fragile egos comfortable in the chosen ignorance they desperately cling to. You bravely chose the painful path of rigorous spiritual ascension instead. You faced your own shadows with absolute courage and deep grace. You did the heavy inner work while they simply pointed their lazy fingers. That is exactly why your current high frequency is completely untouchable by their pathetic, lower vibrational attacks and petty worldly drama. Every lie they told about you was a desperate act of spiritual warfare. They were fighting viciously for the daily survival of their false identities. They needed to make you the villain so they could remain the innocent victim. But the highest heaven is keeping a perfect record of their toxic deeds, and their entire house of cards is actively collapsing right now. You must never shrink yourself to fit into their tiny reality again. Your massive wisdom is a direct threat to the darkness controlling them. Your existence alone is a powerful rebellion against their shallow matrix. Keep shining your brilliant light, because it is the exact weapon heaven designed to dismantle their entire corrupt system once and for all. The spiritual realm operates on a flawless system of absolute energetic resonance. People who vibrate in heavy fear cannot tolerate the frequency of divine love. They will instinctively attack whatever pure force they cannot securely control. And since they could never control your sacred destiny, they decided their only logical option was to violently deny your undeniable truth. Take a deep breath and let this huge realization settle into your spirit. You are not a helpless victim of their relentless and toxic abuse. You are a highly advanced master of reality who survived a severe spiritual attack. Their fragile egos finally shattered against your iron boundaries, and now they must live with the terrifying consequences of crossing a chosen one. The exact moment of their downfall has finally arrived. The universe is aggressively pulling back the heavy curtain to reveal the absolute truth. They are sitting in the ruins of their own terrible choices right now. Every single tower they built on toxic lies is actively collapsing around them today. And the most terrifying part for them is that they know exactly why this specific disaster is finally happening. Earlier, I promised to reveal the hidden spiritual mechanism protecting you. The secret mechanism is the sheer power of your absolute emotional detachment. Heaven completely severed your energetic cords to their chaotic timeline because you finally decided to let them go. When you stopped caring, their toxic supply dried up instantly. They lost their tight grip on your beautiful mind forever. And now they are desperately trying to connect the dots. The profound realization is hitting them like a massive freight train. They remember every single warning you gave them in the past. You told them exactly how their reckless actions would end in disaster. They ignored you and laughed right in your face. Now nobody in their circle is laughing anymore. Every word you spoke over their lives has manifested with terrifying accuracy. They thought you were just being bitter or entirely paranoid, but you were reading the spiritual weather while they were playing in the shallow dirt. Now the severe storm has finally arrived to wash away their fake foundation. They are drowning in the deep waters of their own heavy karma. They look around and realize that your divine foresight was absolutely flawless. The panic setting into their cold bones is completely undeniable today. They secretly check your social media, hoping to see you failing miserably, but instead they see a chosen one who is thriving in absolute peace. Your quiet success is the ultimate punishment for their massive ego. You did not even have to lift a single finger to destroy them. You never plotted any messy revenge or screamed your truth in the busy streets. You simply walked away and let the highest universe handle the heavy lifting. The divine courts have stepped in to execute flawless justice on your behalf. Their complete silence is simply the sound of absolute defeat. If you can feel this massive shift in your current timeline, you must claim it. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment. This simple physical action proves you are fully stepping into your quiet authority today. You are locking in the powerful frequency of total victory. Do not let this sacred moment slip away. The narcissists are completely terrified because they finally understand your massive value. They realize they threw away the rarest soul they will ever encounter in this lifetime. Nobody else is ever going to love them with your profound depth. Nobody else is going to pray for them in the dark hours of the lonely night. They are entirely alone in their mess now. They tried to replace you with shallow people who only tell them sweet lies, but those fake connections are already crumbling under the heavy weight of reality. They are desperately craving the pure light you used to freely provide. But the door to your beautiful energy has been permanently sealed by heaven because your boundaries are finally made of solid iron. They cannot ever access your sacred space again. This is exactly why they went completely silent recently. They have absolutely nothing left to say, because the absolute truth has violently silenced their lying tongues. Any attempt to contact you now would simply expose their pathetic desperation. They are deeply ashamed of how completely wrong they were about your divine vision. The heavy guilt is literally eating them alive right now. You are watching a profound spiritual law play out in real time. The precious stone that the foolish builders rejected has become the main cornerstone. They tried to bury you deep in the cold, dark ground, but they did not realize you were a powerful seed planted by heaven itself. You have grown into a massive tree that their tiny axes can never cut down. In the year 2026, the scales of justice are perfectly balanced. The universe is orchestrating a massive public vindication for all the hidden pain you endured. People who doubted your sanity are now witnessing your undeniable rise to power. They are watching heaven bless you in ways they cannot even comprehend. Your ultimate victory is their absolute biggest nightmare. Take a very deep breath and absorb this incredible reality. You survived the brutal storm, completely alone. You are the master of reality who trusted the invisible path when everyone else demanded hard proof. And now the heavy proof is radiating from your entire existence. They finally connected the dots, and it completely broke their fragile minds. Do you see how perfectly the universe orchestrated this entire situation? The people who tried to lock you in a dark cage ended up trapping themselves. Your pure light exposed every flaw in their twisted foundation. They are standing in the rubble of their arrogance, Your vindication has only just begun to unfold before their eyes. Heaven is actively clearing out the heavy debris from your beautiful life right now. The toxic energy has been entirely washed away by the divine storm. You are stepping into a glorious era of pure, quiet authority. Every single painful tear you cried is actively being converted into massive spiritual wealth. You can feel the profound shift happening deep inside your chest. The universe is currently sending you undeniable signs to confirm your new elevated status. Have you noticed the incredible synchronicities happening around you lately? You are seeing numbers like 777 and 111 everywhere you look. These repeating numbers are not random accidents at all. They are deliberate spiritual markers, proving your timeline is perfectly aligned. Another massive sign is your sudden physical repulsion to shallow conversations. You simply cannot tolerate the empty noise of the worldly matrix anymore. Your spirit physically recoils when people try to drag you into their petty drama. This intense reaction is your upgraded, energetic shield, rejecting any frequency that does not match your new royal status. You require absolute depth now. You are also experiencing an unshakable sense of extreme inner peace. The outside world might be completely chaotic right now. The economy might be shaking. People around you might be panicking desperately over worldly illusions. But you are sitting in the eye of the storm with a calm heart, because you know heaven is fully directing your steps. You simply observe the chaos. You no longer feel the desperate need to aggressively defend your sacred boundaries. In the past, you would angrily explain why they could not treat you poorly. Now you do not even bother to speak a single word to them. You simply remove your divine access and let them starve in the dark. Your complete silence is the ultimate boundary they can never ever cross again. This profound, quiet authority is terrifying to the darkness, but beautiful to the light. The right people are suddenly gravitating toward your radiant energy field. You are effortlessly attracting pure souls who recognize your immense value without you having to prove anything. The heavy days of constantly proving your worth to blind narcissists are officially dead and buried forever. Heaven is actively preparing a table for you, right in the presence of your enemies. The people who plotted your downfall are now forced to watch your glorious rise. Every door they tried to violently slam in your face has been completely blown off its hinges. The divine compensation for your stolen years is finally arriving in massive and undeniable waves of pure abundance. But wait, before you walk through this final golden gate of absolute victory, I must address something incredibly important. There is a deeply hidden trap waiting for you right at the edge of your breakthrough. 99% of chosen ones fall for this specific illusion right before the sun rises. I need you to listen very closely to this next urgent warning. The darkness knows it cannot break you with fear anymore. It realizes your energetic shield is completely impenetrable to direct attacks. So it will try a completely different and far more deceptive tactic to steal your massive blessing. It will send a dangerous counterfeit disguised as an answered prayer to test your new boundaries. This is your ultimate final exam. I will expose exactly what this fatal trap looks like in just a moment. You must not leave this transmission until you know how to defeat it. If you ignore this crucial warning, you risk losing the very reward you bled so heavily to receive. Stay locked onto my voice because the final piece of the divine puzzle is arriving now. Your ultimate test is approaching quickly. Let us look back at how far you have already come. You survived the brutal isolation that was designed to completely destroy your mind. You healed the deep generational curses that ran through your entire bloodline for centuries. You became the cycle breaker who finally stopped the toxic bleeding for all your future descendants. Your spiritual resume is completely flawless today. The universe does not hand this level of quiet authority to just anyone. It only trusts the rare anomaly who is willing to walk through the hottest fire without complaining. You passed the rigorous purification process with absolute flying colors. The heavy scars on your soul are now glowing badges of supreme spiritual honor that command massive respect in the highest realms. Do not let anyone minimize the massive magnitude of your current spiritual achievement. The things you survived would have absolutely crushed a normal human being. They would have given up and completely surrendered to the heavy darkness. But you are a mighty warrior of light who refused to lay down your sword even when you were exhausted. You fought back with fierce love. Every ounce of pain is now being alchemized into pure golden power. The universe is actively rebalancing the spiritual scales in your favor right now. All the sleep you lost and all the tears you cried are being perfectly refunded as immense joy and overflowing abundance. The waiting season is completely over for you today. Here is the absolute truth about the fatal trap I warned you about earlier. Right before your massive breakthrough, the darkness will try to send a familiar toxic face from your past back into your life. They will suddenly reach out with a fake apology or a seemingly innocent message. Do not reply to them under any circumstances. This is the ultimate test from the universe to see if you have truly learned your lesson. A healed person no longer tolerates any confusion disguised as love. You no longer tolerate basic disrespect disguised as brutal honesty. When that counterfeit connection reaches out, you must stand firmly in your new power. You simply ignore their desperate attempt to steal your light, and you keep walking toward your glorious dawn. Your complete silence is the final weapon that permanently destroys their access to your soul. The waiting season is officially over right now. The dry and lonely desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of divine favor. Every single closed door is being violently blown off its hinges today. That beautiful sensation radiating in your chest is the exact frequency of absolute victory, because the universe is aligning your physical reality with your spiritual vision. You are stepping into the precise timeline you were born to rule. You are no longer the exhausted empath who begged to be understood by blind fools. The brutal crucible of pain has successfully forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment on, your massive energy demands supreme respect without a single word spoken. The divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your new timeline. You are a weapon of absolute light, and nothing in this physical world can stop your rise. Heaven has deliberately slowed you down in the past to protect you from entering rooms you were never meant to occupy. The bitter rejection was never a punishment. It was the ultimate divine protection protocol working perfectly in your favor. Breathe that glorious truth deep into your lungs today. You have successfully passed the hardest test of your entire life. The universe is officially crowning you with the immense authority you have fully earned. The people who plotted against you are watching everything they built crumble into absolute dust. They are paralyzed with fear because they realize you are operating under the highest divine protection. They cannot touch your finances. They cannot touch your peaceful mind. They cannot touch your bright future. You have completely outsmarted the heavy darkness by simply remaining fiercely true to your beautiful heart. Your incredible victory over them is totally final and entirely complete. Your presence alone now shifts the entire atmosphere of any room you enter. You do not need to fight their petty, worldly battles anymore. You stand high above their toxic chaos like a majestic mountain. The heavy chains of generational trauma have been shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. Tonight, you become the brilliant break in your bloodline that all your future generations will deeply thank you for. The ancient curse is permanently broken today. Let the immense joy overflow from your resilient spirit right now. You are entering a glorious season of unprecedented miracles and breathtaking synchronicities. Everything you touch will prosper, because your hands are strictly anointed by the highest heaven. The invisible forces of the universe are actively rearranging circumstances to bless you beyond your human imagination. Your long, painful suffering has been officially paid in full with incredible divine interest. You are standing at the sacred threshold of a completely new spiritual dimension. The old, wounded version of you died in that severe storm. The glorious master who emerged from the heavy wreckage is completely unrecognizable to your bitter enemies. They are absolutely terrified of this new, empowered version of you. They know they can never manipulate a rare soul that has been fully awakened by the divine fire. You are an absolute force of pure nature now, but you must loudly claim this massive energy shift before you leave this sacred space. The pitch-black darkness has fully retreated behind you today. The glorious dawn of your new era is shining its brightest rays directly onto your spiritual crown. To lock in this incredible frequency, you must physically anchor it to this earthly plane. You need to create an absolute shield of energetic protection around your newly activated timeline right now. If you do not firmly seal this reality, the chaotic world will try to drain this fresh anointing from your spirit by tomorrow morning. You must take a direct physical action to tell the universe that you fully accept your heavy crown. Feel the raw electrical power surging through your deep veins in this exact second. You are a master of reality, and you command the energetic flow of your destiny. Do you accept this divine transfer of wealth and authority today? The immense universe is watching your specific response in this exact critical moment. It is waiting for you to boldly sign the unbreakable spiritual contract of your ultimate freedom. Prepare your brave heart and prepare your physical hands to seal this magnificent truth. You have successfully survived the long, lonely night, and you have finally reached the beautiful promised land. The heavy lifting is officially done. It is time to boldly receive your eternal reward. You have finally reached the summit of your spiritual mountain. The heavy storm has officially passed over your beautiful soul. The dark clouds are breaking apart to reveal the brightest sun, and the very enemies who tried to destroy your spirit are now standing in the distant valley, looking up at your incredible rise. You are totally untouchable today. This is your divine coronation as the ultimate master of your reality. Heaven is placing the heavy crown of quiet authority directly upon your head. You earned every single jewel on that crown through your profound tears and silent battles, because you never surrendered to their darkness. The universe recognizes your absolute purity. Now you must recognize your own immense power and walk in it proudly. Do not ever let them convince you that your high standards are just arrogance. Your fierce boundaries are a sacred fortress built by the hands of angels. You protect your divine energy because you finally understand its massive worth. The days of handing your precious life force to emotional vampires are completely over. The spiritual leak is permanently sealed, but the physical world is still incredibly chaotic and full of lower frequencies. The Matrix will constantly try to pull you back into its petty drama. It will attempt to make you forget the glorious revelation you just received in this sacred space. And that is exactly why you need to establish a permanent energetic shield around your aura right now. You must take a physical action to bind this powerful spiritual truth to your earthly timeline. A thought alone is not enough to stop the heavy attacks of the enemy. You must use your physical voice or your physical hands to cast the final iron lock on your new destiny. This is the ultimate secret of ancient spiritual manifestation. You must claim it loudly. Type the word Amen down in the comments below to seal this glorious reality. When you type that specific word, you are not just leaving a random internet comment. You are signing a binding spiritual contract with the highest heaven to accept your divine wealth and total freedom. You are telling the universe that you are entirely ready to receive the blessing. Let every single keystroke be a heavy hammer, driving the final nail into the coffin of your painful past. Type Amen to build an invisible wall of white fire around your newly healed heart. The darkness cannot ever cross a boundary that has been explicitly sealed by a chosen one. Your PUBLIC declaration creates a massive ripple in the invisible spiritual realm. But your divine assignment does not simply end with your own personal healing. You are a cycle breaker who carries enough brilliant light to illuminate the entire world. Heaven gave you this massive breakthrough so you could become a bright beacon for other lost souls wandering in the cold dark. You have a profound responsibility to share this sacred fire. There is another chosen one out there right now who is bleeding in the dark of deep despair. They are crying in a locked bathroom, wondering if they are actually going crazy. They are desperately begging the universe for a single sign of hope. And heaven wants to use your hands to deliver that exact life-saving sign to them before it is entirely too late. Share this message with someone who urgently needs to hear this divine validation. Sowing the seed of hope today is the absolute best way to multiply the blessing for yourself tomorrow. When you partner with heaven to rescue another beautiful soul, the universe immediately increases your own spiritual and financial territory. The law of divine karma is flawless. Do not keep this incredible revelation hoarded all to yourself. Send this transmission to the people you love, or post it where another exhausted empath might stumble upon it. Your simple act of sharing could literally save a life from the heavy grip of toxic narcissists. You are an active participant in the greatest spiritual awakening of human history. The enemies of light are terrified of this message spreading across the world. They want you to stay quiet and keep your massive power completely hidden from the masses. Every time you share this frequency, you are launching a direct strike against their dark matrix. You are helping to dismantle their elaborate system of lies and painful psychological control. Hit the subscribe button right now to firmly anchor yourself at the highest vibrational frequency. This channel is your secure, energetic receiving station for all future divine updates. You need a safe harbor when the worldly storms rage outside your peaceful window. Subscribing ensures you never miss the critical coordinates for your next spiritual elevation. You are completely safe here. You are deeply loved and profoundly understood in this sacred community of rare souls. Take one final deep breath and let the heavy burdens of your past fall away forever. You are the chosen one who won the impossible war. Go out and conquer your beautiful new world with absolute quiet authority. Your reign begins today.